And in fact, when I sent this article out to my friends, I got an email from Sandy Knott, who's a safety manager at a grocery distribution warehouse, a very impressive place, one of the places that a nonprofit I work with accredited. Their safety program is one of the best in the world, right? And she sent an email out to her team saying, hey, here's a good article, why don't you read it? And I want to highlight just one place, you know. I didn't know his final conclusions that they were both wrong. They needed to work together. I agree with the writings. It's only a team focused on the same goals that can bring a successful safety process forward, as we've done here. Thank you for all you do to keep your associates safe. I think she got it, right? I wish you would have told me back before we did this whole skateboarding thing. Right? We didn't work together, me and my son. And he suffered the consequences, the town suffered the consequences. And now he's okay. Thanks for asking. He plays tennis now instead of baseball, but he's broken his wrist 2 more times in the same place. And who knows, when he gets old like us, you know, all the silly things you did, remember that? That thing when you were in high school or college you did, and now it's like arthritis. He'll live with him the rest of his life. But you know, with my son, I got a second chance. Now, I wasn't going to blow it this time, because now instead of a skateboard, he's in an automobile, a motor vehicle. The physics in this situation, physicists here? Physicists? Can you describe the difference in the velocity and crash functionality between skateboard and car at 60 miles an hour? Square it. And impact is greater. Bones crack better. Brain squish. So I wasn't going to blow this one. Because now, instead of personal protective equipment against falls, now we're talking about hazards that could make the difference between life and death, not only his, but the community around him. Right? So I wasn't going to blow this. I was going to change it up. So did I use discipline when it came to driving? Did I go over his head and cite rules and stuff? Yeah, he got training. He got his activators. He got training, and when I was in the car, I'd alert him to hazards. But I decided this time, instead of working against him, we're going to work together. And I decided what I'm going to do, instead of telling him everything he's doing wrong, which I was doing before, I'm going to tell him what he was doing safe. You know, the term reinforcement is a term in behavioral psychology. You probably had it in college at Virginia Tech, right? Reinforcement. I imagine there's some rebar on the walls of this place. What is rebar? It's metal. Any engineers here? Engineers? Okay. Rebar is metal, right? Why do you put metal in the walls? To make it stronger, and you can build on top of. What behaviors do you want to make stronger? The risky behaviors by pointing them out all the time, or the things they're doing safe? If you reinforce the things they're doing safe, that means it's going to be stronger. It's going to go up. It's a safety message that's not often talked about. Most of your employees, most of you, spend your day taking steps to make sure you're safe and to protect yourself and others, right? Somebody come along and say, thank you for that. You're reinforcing it. You're increasing it. So while I'm driving along with my son, it's too easy to go, ah! Look at the corner! You went through that light without stopping. Instead, you start noticing all the things he did safely. Wow, you used your turn signal when you're at the last intersection. Those folks across the way knew what you were doing so they could change their driving. Good job. I know it sounds a little hokey, but it worked. And every opportunity I had around my friends when he was there, and they say, oh, your son's driving now. Ah. I say, you know, my son's the best driver I know. And what did that do? Became the best driver I know. In fact, he would come to me when he wasn't certain about certain driving situations, like driving in ice or certain intersections. He would now ask me. And then, of course, the pressure was on me because now that I'm driving with him in the car, he's asking me certain things. So I'm now the model. Not Bam. Bam. Father. Lesson 1 I learned from my kids, reinforcement is so much stronger than punishment. So much stronger. I dare you today. I dare you, and I'll know if you did it because we have the thing, right? I dare you, take your cell phone out, flip it open, find a colleague's number, send them a text. Say the following: yesterday or today, I noticed that you fill in safe behavior. It helped us be safe because of fill in hazard. End. Thank you for all you do to keep us and yourself safe. You can do that right now. You got your phone. You got your deputy right there. Just send him. He's sitting with both feet on the ground. He's got. Oh, it's charging. Okay. You can do that. You talking about budget cuts? It's free. I'm a psychologist. You paid me to be here. Here's my professional advice. The most effective method of increasing safety is reinforcement. Reinforcement is free. You don't need to go to the little store where you get trinkets and stuff like that. A thank you from a trusted, respected colleague or father. Lesson 1 my kids taught me. I mean, what do we really want to work with? How would you like to be managed? With the carrot, reinforcement, or the stick? Who wants the stick? You know, the carrot or the stick? You got or the carrot stick. I guess you go either way. I'm kind of wondering. You know, they got sometimes it's the carrot and the stick, right? Or the carrot or the sjambok. I was in South Africa, like I said, and they called the whip the sjambok. And unfortunately over there it has some very negative connotations because of their history, right? So I started using that, but the sjambok it good doesn't work. A whip it good works better. Sorry. You folks, safety is not your job. You're not paid to be safe. You're paid to do a job. The reason you act safe and look out for the safety of others because you're human. It's the right thing to do. The second you think you're being paid or you need some kind of incentive to be safe, then we've lost the point. So when it comes to changing behavior, you know, this was me in my 20s back in the day, there in Blacksburg, right? I'd have soccer shoes on because they had cleats and that's in the mountains, right? But I'd always wear shorts and I'd never bag my grass. I just let it fly because how inconvenient is that, you know? This time of spring and the grass grows like grass, you know, in the spring, and there's ticks everywhere, and you know, you're mowing and take 5 steps and you got to clear out the bag. I ain't not doing that. And then, you know, I had shorts on. I usually didn't carry a glass because then the grass clippings get in there. I just have a beer on this side and a beer on that side. And it's a consequence, right? If I get over there. And I didn't care about the sun. I didn't care about the sun. I was young. I was lucky to wear a shirt. I wanted the tan for the ladies, right? So what got me to change from here to here? Like I mow my lawn now. And I don't do that. I just pose for the picture. Right? But I have all my PPE on, bag the grass. Now some of you might say, it's because you got hurt. You know, you got older. And the stuff that hurts when you're older hurts a lot worse now than when you're back then. And sure enough, I was mowing the lawn one day and was going near a set of trees in my house, and a rock got caught in the blade and it got slung out. You can talk about the physics of that later. We'll have a separate session. Got slung out, hit a tree, and just the ricochet of the angle comes back and cuts my leg. I mean, it's bleeding and everything. So what did I do? Did I go home to my wife and say, I got an owie? No, I did what a lot of people do when they get injured. They're embarrassed by it. They don't want the consequences of an investigation, which would have happened. And so I went inside, I cleaned it up, put a couple Band-Aids on it, put on long pants. Yeah, I got hurt, got me to put on long pants. And so then I mowed the rest of the day, and then the next time I go out to mow, sunny Blacksburg, and it's getting sweaty, right? It's getting hot, and I'm not getting my tan. Even getting hurt got me to wear my jeans, my protective equipment just 1 or 2 times, but the immediate consequences of all the discomfort and inconvenience, I didn't start. I stopped. I started wearing shorts again, right? I didn't bag my grass. So my question is, what got me from mowing the grass in a risky manner, putting myself at risk, to finally getting myself properly equipped to handle the hazard. Well, my other son comes in the picture again. Yep, safety dad. He wanted to be a rock and roll drummer. We went to an AC/DC concert, and he's just sure he wanted to be a rock and roll drummer. And so safety dad made him do what? Well, your young ears. I mean, when they're in that development stage and their body is creating their different organs, they're particularly vulnerable. And so, at 8 years old, his ears haven't been destroyed like mine from going to all the rock concerts, right? And so I wanted to protect his ears because, I'm 48, and I go to bed at night and I hear, right? It's because Dad's still going to rock concerts, and look at here, this is my older son, no PPE. My younger son pointed that picture out because I made him wear earplugs. Now, I didn't have an actual picture of the big earmuffs that I made him wear. It's not this little PPE stuff that you have with a string on it. He had the big ones, right? And bless his heart, he would wear them, for he indeed adores his father. And he has his room's on the bottom of our house, so I could sneak around and look in the window, and he had them on. Maybe he's just smarter than his older son. Don't print that. So, one day, I was out mowing, right? And I had my PPE on. One of the answers to my question, how did I go from the person in my 20s to the person I am now in terms of mowing? And one of the answers is, well, my kid started doing skateboarding, and I wanted to wear his PPE, right? And how would I go out and not wear mine in a very public way? So I had to model the behavior. I knew that people were watching me, people I love, people I want to shape. So I started wearing my PPE, but one day I was out mowing, all hot and sweaty, with the bag on and everything. I got to change this picture. Make a note. Change picture with bag. Had my bag on and everything, and my son comes running out. Dad, Dad. And he's like 9 years old. Cute little button coming running out. I said, hold on. I turned off the motor and the light, and from behind his back, he holds out the earmuffs. He says, Dad, you forgot these. You forgot these. And it wasn't a gotcha. It was, I care about you. Carrot or stick. This is the best carrot I ever got. Really tasty. Somebody came out to me and showed they cared about me enough to try to protect me. That goes beyond reinforcement. And now, for the rest of my life, I'm not going to let him down. I'm not going to get hurt mowing. It's not about remembering to do stuff. Now, because I have somebody looking out for me, I'm going to do it the safe way. And it goes beyond that. This is probably one of the pinnacle moments of my life. Yeah, I do safety for a living, but then I have a friend that does, who's part of our consulting group. He goes, well, you should do as I say, not as I do. Right? There's a little quips like, when we're on a trip, don't go tell me everything that I'm doing unsafe. But I think this changes the game. Having somebody care about you and demonstrating it actively. We have a concept we call actively caring. It's not only that I care. Yeah, I care about all of you. But am I doing something about it? Am I doing something about it like I would do for my son, or in this case, what my son will do for me? Because it's really a gift. When you take the moment to stand aside with a colleague and say, hey, look, we got this hazardous material to clean up, a little housekeeping here. Why don't we look at it for a while and take some time to think through what could go wrong? Because, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I know your kids. Let's do this right. That's a gift. You're giving a gift to somebody. And it means something. It goes beyond just, here's some instructions on how to do it correctly, to the point where you're saying, I care. Let's do this in a safe manner. It's very powerful.